Hi everyone and welcome to the Enactus UK Partner Competition Top Tips for 2021. We are going to be starting with our first individual topic competition of the academic year, which is with Kelly OCG. So our partners Kelly are asking to really amplify your student voice. They are asking for you to create a 2-minute video on your thoughts on the workplace in the future. So whether you think this is going to be fully virtual, whether you think this could be hybrid, or any ideas that you have. This is a fantastic competition for you to get yourself known, to get your views out there, because the winner not only receives funding for personal and professional development, but they also will receive an opportunity to share your views with the board of directors at Kelly OCG. So it's a really exciting competition. This is open to absolutely anybody within the Enactus UK network. So please don't think that you just have to be on the committee to apply for this. This is for anybody and everyone. So make sure you use this opportunity to amplify your student voice. Okay, so the brief is quite wordy, so I think it would be useful to break this down a little. Okay, so the brief for Kelly, we should be highlighting key research outcomes. Okay, so this is what has already been written on, the world of work and how it has been changing, and thinking about how we can integrate that into the 2-minute video that you have got to include. I've also highlighted a couple of things that you might want to consider, so particularly about the research that you're looking at, that you've done, and how this is changing the way that we approach work and recruitment as a whole. So definitely just kind of have a look at news sources, have a look at Prospect Luminate. I'll send a little link at the next slide, but just kind of search like graduate recruitment changes, like Google's our friend, see what there is already out there, and maybe reference a couple of our other partners and see what they've written, because it could be that they've also referenced a few things of how their recruitment practices have changed, so that would be good to include. I've also highlighted some of the ideas that Kelly have written themselves in the brief. So whether you wanted to talk about the impact of equity at work, maybe the barriers at the workplace, like the current ones, barriers that have always been there, barriers that are continuing to be there. Maybe you want to talk about social mobility barriers. You could talk about the diversity and inclusion, if we're making strides with that, if you feel like there's more to be done. Again, maybe it could be disability in the workplace, whatever you want to talk about, because this is personal to you, and if you can get that across, that will make your video stand out even more. There's also an idea that you could talk about the impact of well-being and work-life balance as well. So I'm sure you've realized that studying and being at university whilst you're at home, it becomes really difficult to separate your downtime and your time that you should be studying and doing things. So maybe just referencing things like that. What I would say is, don't throw everything at this video. Maybe pick a couple of things that you want to talk about, highlight 1 or 2 areas, otherwise it will become something where you're just talking and talking and talking, and it doesn't feel like there's a natural structure to that. But again, I've also highlighted, are there more positives or drawbacks of moving to a virtual world? So that sentence is a really good way to conclude your 2-minute video. So maybe have that as your end structure, your like big summarizing statement, like you would when you're writing an essay, thinking about that concluding paragraph, that concluding a couple of sentences that kind of pulls everything that you've been talking about for 2 minutes to a close. Okay, fantastic. So just a couple of more tips with Kelly. So make the most of the review option if you want to submit that to me by the 12th of February, before the official deadline, which is the 26th of February at 12 p.m. The way that you submit this is to my email address, which was on the first slide that we started talking about. So it's just here. So ccollins@enactus.org. And then also a couple more top tips. So you know how they have talked about referencing some papers. So Kelly OCG have written a white paper on the future of work. So please search that, because it would be great to reference in your video and make you stand out even more, because it'll show that you've really done the research into what they've already done. You are more than welcome to say, like, I agree with this or I disagree with this, but it's great if you use that as a reference point. I would say kind of structure what you want to say. Structure your 2-minute video. You're welcome to script it, but be wary of just reading off a screen, because it doesn't make it as dynamic. So just be really familiar with what you want to say. Maybe give yourself 5 key bullet points that gives a good structure that you can then talk around that when you are delivering that 2-minute video. I would say dress smart when you film it. Like, you don't have to be suited and booted, but a little bit like smart casual, open shirt, polo shirt, you know, nice top, whatever you want. Just thinking about this will be seen as a professional video, so just making sure that you're not looking like you've like just been training outside, or you've just been on a run, that kind of thing. I would be wary of just keeping your ideas realistic, rather than that utopian huge view of like the ideal place of work. Like, let's think about what the future of work will probably look like, or what you view it as. And a couple of logistics: use like your phone camera instead of a webcam. It looks more dynamic. Phone cameras are really good at the minute. If you have to use your webcam, obviously of course do, but I would encourage you where possible to film it on your film it on your phone and a landscape mode rather than a portrait mode, because it's easy to edit if you needed to. And that brings me on to editing. If you want, you can obviously record it as one whole take for 2 minutes. If that isn't possible and you kind of mess up, or if you feel like it wasn't your best shot, I would recommend using something like iMovie, VM editor. Like, there's lots of free video editing softwares on there that are really easy to use. iMovie is my personal go-to, and it's just great to scrub and change it, but whatever works for you. And then, yeah, like I said, check your lighting, check your noise. If you know that your neighbour's dog goes out for a walk at 2 p.m. every day and he barks, maybe don't film it around then. When you are welcome to take it outside, but be wary of the wind. But yeah, consider just these things. And then lastly, I've just popped some resources on there. So I mentioned Luminate Prospects as a great thing to reference about what is currently happening in the world of graduate recruitment. The Kelly OCG paper that I referenced before, and then Gartner have done another paper on the future of work trends, which could really influence your video. So good luck, and if you have any questions, please email me, please send me a WhatsApp, have a chat to your committee if you don't have my details, but you're welcome to send me a video to review, and good luck with your applications. Hopefully we'll get to see that soon.